We're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
If there's one thing that President Donald Trump is consistent on, he loves to sick the military against the American people, and that's exactly what he announced today, saying that he would place the District of Columbia Police under federal control and deploy the National Guard to fight crime and rid the city of its homeless population. So the guy who's up the ass of private equity, the same private equity that's snatching up residential real estate across the country, in some parts of California, 20% of residential real estate. At a time when we have a housing crisis, you're gonna go ahead and just wipe out the homeless population in DC and do what? Where are they gonna go? You're the President of the United States. You could actually handle this situation through policy, through leadership, but instead, no, I'm gonna get the National Guard to do sweeps of homeless people in DC and do what with them exactly? No, this is insanity. So Trump on Sunday compared his plans for Washington to his administration's aggressive enforcement of immigration at the US-Mexico border. But in this case, the bad treatment is gonna be directed toward Americans, of course, which I've been warning about. But everyone thinks, no, it's okay. It's just those dirty immigrants who are here illegally. There's no way that Trump would direct the military against the American people. There's more. So US-Mexico border, where the National Guard and other branches of the military have been deployed since early in his term to crack down on border crossings. He said he would immediately clear out the city's homeless population and take swift action against crime. Cenk.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to what should be done about crime and the right way to handle it in a place like DC. But here's what I know for sure. The right way to handle crime is not to bring in the US military. Because that's what banana republics do, okay? That's countries that go through coup after coup after coup. Oh, look, there's a guy who tried a coup and now he's bringing military into the streets. And who has he learned how to stifle dissent from? Oh, his buddies at Israel, right? And Palantir and other defense contractors that are both tied to Israel and America. And now you're rolling in the military. Now we're gonna get facial recognition software. They started this program in Israel. It was used to murder Palestinians in Gaza. Now they're going to do it for protesters, etc. So now military rule has begun. And what that does is it doesn't stop crime, it takes your freedom away. And if you're a right winger who ever hung a flag that said, don't tread on me, brother, this is the tyrannical government you were warning about, okay? And you think your enemy comes at you from the front? No, your enemy comes at you from the back, okay? So the Republicans that said, oh yeah, don't tread on me, watch out for tyrannical government, then now they're rolling out tyrannical government in the streets of our cities, and you're not noticing.
So let me explain something, because unlike huge swaths of the left, I'm just keeping it real, I actually do take crime seriously. I know how much it actually harms communities, it hinders the opportunities for children in neighborhoods that are dealing with high crime. And so I do take it seriously. The idea that the National Guard is going to solve this issue is ridiculous, especially when you look at what the crimes are in DC in particular. So they do have a very serious problem with carjackings in Washington, DC. And typically those carjackings, believe it or not, are carried out by literal teenagers, okay? Like 14, 15-year-olds. Now look, I get very frustrated because where are the parents and why are your 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds out there doing carjackings and joyrides, okay? So I get frustrated with the parents, but at the same time, what is the National Guard supposed to do? You want them to come in and crack their skulls? How is that gonna solve this issue? There's something else going awry. There's something else that's leading to, like the carjackings carried out by the teenagers is a symptom of a bigger problem here.
Yeah.
And so I want to enforce the law. I don't want a militarized, literally a militarized law enforcement situation when we're dealing with literal teenagers. And to that point, US Attorney Janine Ferris-Pirro, whom Trump appointed to the job in May, has called for lowering the age limit for charging juveniles as adults to 14. Okay, all right. I guess that's how we're gonna solve this issue. We're just going to rain terror on teenagers and treat them as adults.
I know why you say parents, but I don't think parents are the issue. And not because they're not in those specific cases, but because there's always going to be vulnerable kids, especially in tough socioeconomic conditions, right? And why are they vulnerable? Because their parents might not be that they're making a choice. It's that they honestly might, some parents are on drugs, right? Or in very bad situation, or maybe even already lost their homes, etc. So that's not excuses, that's just to say why that kid is in a vulnerable situation. To me, the bigger problem is the crime rings that come in and sweep up all these kids who are in vulnerable positions.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yes. And so, and those crime rings do exist. It doesn't help to say they don't when they obviously do, right? Like, are there gangs? Of course there are gangs. Like, what do you think they do? Quilting? No, they do criminal activity, right? Including carjacking and taking parts from cars and going into stores and taking stuff, as much stuff as they can, on and on and on, right? So when people on the left pretend that there are no crime rings and that crime didn't go up, that doesn't help anybody's cause, because then that isolates you as one, denying reality, and that makes people really angry, because then you're gaslighting them.
You're gaslighting them, and then the communities that suffer as a result of the very thing the left denies even exists, they feel desperate and they're looking for literally any solution. And so the pendulum keeps swinging, guys. And that's the important thing to keep in mind as we continue to allow extreme partisans, I should say, to essentially take control of politics in general, right? You're gonna get higher crime as a result of the left denying that it even exists. Then you have the right come in, the pendulum swings all the way back to tough on crime policies. And now you have a militarized situation in Washington, D.C., which, by the way, Trump actually has the right to do this. As sad as I am to say that, he has the right to do this. And so I don't know what this is gonna look like. This, I think, is also gonna be a massive waste of resources. I would be shocked if the National Guard was looking forward to being deployed for this reason. And it doesn't get to the heart of why there is a problem in Washington, D.C. with these carjackings.
Yeah, so look, democracy is equipped to handle this. So I'll give you a perfect example. And it doesn't matter if you're on the right or left. In fact, if you're on the left, some portion of the left might deny this reality, but there's no denying it. Like, again, don't lose credibility. So here's what I mean. So did crime rise in the major cities? Seattle, Portland, Oakland, LA, San Francisco, New York, Philly, etc. Yes. Between 2019 and 2023, it rose significantly. Now, since then, it's gone down in some cities. Some of that is fishy accounting, but some of that is absolutely real, okay? So then that's great. And by the way, then now the right wing might deny that it's gone down. No, the facts are stubborn things, right? So crime did go up then. And what happened as a consequence? And if you're a Republican and you go, well, that's why we have to bring in the military, because in these liberal cities, nobody's ever gonna get voted out. Well, you're wrong, they did get voted out. They got voted out in Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, New York, etc. All the most, what they called progressive, whether that's true or not true, council members, mayors, etc., got thrown out. In Oakland, the progressive mayor lost by 30 points in a recall election. That is stunning. So democracy works. And what happened in all those cities? They got tougher on crime. But they didn't swing the pendulum to ludicrous proportions like Trump is doing. They didn't have to bring in the military, and guess what? Now that they got tougher on crime, crime is going down. And I say that to both the left and the right, right? The left says no, that adding more cops will never work, except they added more cops in a lot of cities and it began to work, right? And then the right says, no, that'll never work, bring in the tanks. I want to live under military rule.
Yeah.
No, that makes no sense at all. There's a smart, right way to fight crime. It is real and you can fight it. The military is the worst possible way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm worried about how this is gonna look, but yeah, it is what it is. This is what he wants to pursue doing. And by the way, there's also a part of me, I just wanna make this last point. He loves shock and awe. He loves to flood the zone with shock and awe. And he has pulled out all sorts of tricks from his little magic hat in order to distract from the fact that he's super fishy when it comes to the Epstein files. Super fishy.
Yeah, and you're right that this is another giant distraction. And he knows that some portion of MAGA loves this, right? Yeah. It is so ironic that they fought against tyrannical government. Guys, once the military's in the streets, we then become fully occupied, okay? So already our government works with people with a lot of expertise in occupying people, okay? And so now the military is going to view all the citizens as their targets. They say criminals, but that's not how the military works. The military occupies a zone and they have military rule in that zone, and everyone is subject to it, including perfectly law-abiding citizens. It's a disastrous way to go.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we didn't have the US military inside America. This is the reason. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.